Okay, thank you, everyone. Welcome to our September 26th Board of Regents meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:30 p.m., September 26th, 2024. So our first item on the agenda is our meeting minutes. I'd like to, for action item 2.1, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept meeting minutes of April 25th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Okay. There's a motion. I hear a second. Any discussions? Any correction? Okay. I hear none. So I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none, so the motion carries. So next item is 2.2, special meeting minutes. We'd like to accept the special meeting minutes of August 20, 2024. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussions, corrections? Okay, I hear none. So I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor to accept the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none, so motion carries. Next item 2.3, special meeting minutes of September 13, 2024. To accept these minutes, can I have a motion, please?
So move.
Any second?
Second.
Okay. Um, any discussions, corrections? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. Um, I like to, oh, okay, I'm sorry, motion carries. All right, so at this time, I am going to have my chairperson's remark. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. This summer, we had a very wonderful retreat for the Regents. It was an annual orientation. And this retreat was a little different than other retreats. It was very, very engaging. We had the senior leadership present, we had department chairs present, and this gave the Regents an understanding of the organization, and we got to hear about the history. We got to hear how the University of Guam runs. And we also heard from the department chairs and what their direction is and their just their accomplishments. And it was very engaging. And we're just looking forward to just expanding on this orientation every year. So it's going to, and we also got a tour of the school, and so it was a wonderful thing to um, be a participant of, and we're looking forward to just more and more of just great orientation so we can really understand our role as a board of regents. So thank you so much for putting that together. Also, I'm very excited to report that we put together a ad hoc strategic committee, and we had several board members there. We had Chair Joanna Chun. Thank you so much for leading out it, and Roland Sorteza, as well as Regent Mike Nahalawa and myself. And this was probably the most engaging committee in regards to working with President Enriquez to really come um, out with a wonderful strategic planning uh, uh, strategy. And it was very, very productive. There was a lot of work put into it, a lot of administrators that put a lot of work as well. And it was, I think it's probably one of the best plans that we have ever had because with everyone working together. So I'm very excited to soon hear what you have to present today. All right. So I want to especially thank Chair Joanna Chun and also Roland Sorteza. You guys put a lot of work into this. You have a lot of experience with strategic plans. So I want to thank you very much for that. Also, I'm very, very excited about the university securing a maximum 6-year ABT accreditation for the School of Engineering. That is phenomenal. I'm so excited about that. That's yes, let's and um Dean Hediarachi, I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for all your hard work and everybody involved, President Enriquez. Thank you so much. This was just the vision of many people, and thank you for pushing this through. And now the dream has become a reality, and we're really excited for the future. Um, I like at this time also to recognize the loved ones who have passed away. And so we like to just take a little moment of silence and to just, in prayer and silence to think about the loved ones that has passed away from UOG and the UOG community. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So that concludes my remarks. And I'd like to call on our president, President Enriquez, for her president's report.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the board, and certainly members of our amazing University of Guam community. We've got our administrators, faculty, staff who are present, including alumni and University of Guam affiliates in the room today. I have prepared, or thank you very much, Jonas, for helping me prepare a president's report because of the magnitude of a lot of the amazing work that has been done by members of our university community. It behooves us to come up with a report that we can share with many of our stakeholders, especially with our regents. And the president's report begins with acknowledging our 8 years reaffirmation of accreditation with the WASC Senior College and University Commission, as well as the ABET accreditation as mentioned by Madam Chair. We also have a lot of exciting things coming through the 37th Annual Regional Language Arts Conference hosted by our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, along with just some of the highlights of our different units, Center for Island Sustainability Sea Grant, in collaboration with DFS Galleria, launched the Guam in Bloom beautiful exhibit at the T Galleria. So I do encourage everyone to please take a visit and take a look at the wonderful features of our native flora, sustainable art and fashion that has been a result of research, as well as how the science is applied and how we can exercise sustainability through understanding what is important in respect to our indigenous plants and so forth. A lot of features with regard to college affordability, students winning awards such as Tara Bloss awarded the Johnson & Johnson Nursing Scholarship, signing of Memorandum of Understanding with partner universities such as Wakayama University in Japan, the signing of internship MOU agreements with agencies such as the Guam Waterworks Authority, and also faculty who have been in the news, such as our weary professors proposing alternative solutions to securing Guam's water resources. We've also had accolades. People have been recognized. For example, the School of Health recognized as a workforce leader in dementia care. Dr. Michelle Santos appointed as a commissioner in the Association of Advancing Quality and Educator Preparation, AQUEP, which is a professional accreditation arm for education. Dr. Selman and his participation in co-editing the Confucian Philosophy book, among others. We also have in other news throughout the past quarter highlighted in this president's report, which we will make available online and forward to our university community. And so that's not all, but I just want to extend a Sandunkulun and Sigismasi. Thank you so much to all of our university members for contributing all you can to deliver public value as is captured within our threefold mission of Ina Descubri Sepi. So I've been asked by the Regents to just present on the Tulus Motna Navigating 2024 to 2029 strategic plan. And I want to preface it with sharing with those in the room and those who are live stream that this was a process that was as inclusive as it possibly could because we wanted a lot of transparency around it. When we launched our efforts in fall of 2023, we engaged, in addition to a campus-wide survey, to collect input from our students, our staff, faculty, and administrators. We also held an industry stakeholder listening session at one of the hotels with our private and public sector representatives, including those in the healthcare, engineering, military, and education fields. That was followed by an internal stakeholder review session in September of 2023, which included sharing the outcome of the input that was gathered from that campus-wide survey. We also took into consideration as part of the fleshing out of the strategic priorities within that new plan, the feedback report from the Energizing Triton Student Development Day, which was hosted by the 62nd Student Government Association, and that was shared with us in November 2023. Together with our executive leaders, we've conducted a number of review sessions in concert with members of the President's Council, as well as members of the Dean's Council, followed by the appointment of the ad hoc committee led by Regent Chair Joanna Tichan in concert with Regent Roland Certeza, Madam Chair McKeever, as well as Treasurer Regent Mike Nahalawa. So I've always been one not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So the previous strategic plan, which sunsets this year, the Power Hula Strategic Plan, many thanks to my predecessor, Dr. Thomas Price. Next slide, we wanted to ensure that we were consistent in maintaining what was still relevant. And the vision of the university, in addition to its mission, has not changed. That is still standard. Vision, transforming lives of the students we serve, including the families whom they represent, as well as advancing communities in which we live, work, and play. And that is the capstone for our vision. Our mission statement captures our threefold mission of Ina, Descubri, and Sept. When we think about public value, we think about also our institutional culture. It reads, our mission and vision are guided by Inadahis and Inatgofli'i that reflects Micronesian cultural, relevant, endearing, and meaningful concepts embedded in Inadahi, meaning taking care of myself, others, and the environment around me, and Inatgofli'i, meaning harmonious ways to proceed, operate, and live together. And just as a reminder to our board members, this was adopted through Board Resolution 22-24. Our shared values of respect, compassion, and community are rooted in Micronesia and her history. We commit to the following: fostering equitable access in all facets of the educational experience, expanding a thriving community engagement ecosystem, engaging in robust scholarship, continuously seeking innovative solutions that meet local, regional, and global needs. And finally, creating and sustaining a conducive campus environment where we work and learn with Inafat Malik, meaning making it good for each other with dignity. So taking all of the input, working with our Board of Regents ad hoc committee, taking a 14-page draft and condensing it to 4 pages was an amazing feat. Nonetheless, what was critical about it was that we needed to showcase what were the outcomes that were going to be expected in the form of key results, and what were the strategic actions, actionable strategies that coincided with each of these major pillars. So there are 4 strategic pillars, next slide, that we arrived at, taking into consideration that these never really change because we always want to prioritize students and student success. We always want to keep in mind to shoot for high quality academic programs, research, service, and extension. The third one has to do with taking care of our employees. They represent the heart of the University of Guam engine. If we don't take care of employees, there isn't really much we can achieve in pillars 1 and 2. And fourthly, very important, how are we going to afford all of this? So optimizing UOG's financial health and sustainable growth. So let me just quickly take us through. Next slide. The first pillar, Pinexai Unabetsada. Ensure every student receives a guided voyage to their destination. And so the key results, academic quality and rigor, maintaining and acquiring accreditation at the institutional and program levels. Oh, I'm sorry, that's pillar 2. Let me go back. Increase first to second year student retention rate. The second one, increase 4-year and 6-year graduation rate. The third one, increase collection and reporting of post-graduation statistics that is related to job placement and or graduate school placement. The fourth one has to do with students' satisfaction through the National Student Survey of Student Engagement, that rate, which we monitor. The fifth one, UOG Student Satisfaction Survey, in a number of polls, a number of fall surveys that we will administer just to get a sense of how students are doing. The strategic actions that lead to this include: 1, enhance and promote equitable access to student resources and support services. Examples include academic support, financial, career advisement, mentoring and tutoring, health and wellness services, and funding opportunities. Secondly, cultivate vibrant learning and campus life experiences. Here, we speak to high-impact practices such as internships, practicums, capstones, and co-curricular activities. The third one, provide regular academic advisement updates and training to the faculty. And fourthly, achieve increased student satisfaction rates for in-person and online courses. And I just want to highlight that the recommendations from the WASC accreditation review report, those recommendations have been embedded in strategic pillar number 2. More specifically, the recommendations that have to do with making sure that our student handbook, our Title IX policies are all updated and communicated, that co-curricular strategies are embedded in our assessment, and ensuring that there is inclusion by actively involving adjunct instructors, staff, students in the shared governance processes, as well as implementing recommendations that have to do with distance education review, making sure that the experiences that students through their face-to-face experience mirror those of students who are on our online platforms. So we're really happy about being able to embed those particular recommendations. Next slide. The second pillar has to do with our threefold mission of Ina Descubri Sept. The first one, position UOG as a trusted source for quality programs, research, service, and extension. In addition to our regional accreditation, we also have professional accreditation for our professional programs, including education, nursing, social work, public administration, business administration. So the first key result, academic quality and rigor relating to accreditation at institutional program levels. Second, credentialing, those who pass the NCLEX exam for registered nurses, those who are able to pass Praxis 1 and 2 for education majors, as well as others for licensure, whether it be social work, or for certified public accountants and other means of representing credentialing. The third one, increase grant expenditures. There is a designation called the Carnegie Research Colleges and Universities, to which the university demonstrates through grant expenditures. And we also intend to either maintain or improve upon the National Science Foundation ranking for research and development expenditures, as well as increase the number of publications of our faculty. The fourth outcome is service/extension for land grant and sea grant. Here, we speak to community impact through expanded extension resources and consistent annual maintenance and reporting from service and extension programs. This is not just limited to those within the cooperative extension and outreach or through Sea Grant, but also faculty across different programs that apply the research, apply what they investigate to what our community can benefit from. The strategic actions coinciding with strategic pillar 2, 1, implement technology solutions that strengthen UOG's online academic curricula, extension, outreach, and engagement. 2, enhance visibility through effective marketing communications. 3, showcase research through the annual UOG Research Symposium, academic conferences, and community events. And finally, elevate the reach of UOG's annually published comprehensive impact report and citizen-centric report. The third pillar, okay, we want to enrich the employee experience through Inadahis and Inatgofli'i. The key results, 2 areas: working conditions through employee retention and employee turnover, and adequate resources for professional development and training. Strategic actions: 1, implement effective employee orientation systems that cover all types of employees. Secondly, enhance the esprit de corps programs, such as a robust employee reward and recognition program. Thirdly, provide regular access to training and professional development. And finally, consistently strive for safe and healthy work environments. The last pillar, optimize UOG's financial health and sustainable growth. Okay. Number 1, increase for key results, increase number of enrolled students using semester benchmarks. Secondly, increase enrollment in a number of different subcategories, including graduate enrollment, international students, by program, by school and college, and credit hour production. Third key result, increase net tuition revenue. Fourth, advance donor and alumni giving, which is highlighted in the WASC report as a recommendation. Number 5, ensure sustainability and profitability of auxiliary units. Examples of those units include the campus store, the coffee shop, the field house, the residence halls, other units that are charged to generate revenue to support the university. Number 6, optimize cost efficiency metrics. Here, we're speaking to considering cost savings for utility expenditures. That's already been underway, but we still aspire to experience even further cost savings, streamline processes, leveraging technology, anything that's going to make the university more efficient, being mindful of improving on the bottom line for self-sufficiency. The strategies or strategic actions that coincide with these: number 1, optimize strategic enrollment. We already have a consultant being considered for giving us advice on our current markets, our current strategies, and how to make them better. Secondly, diversify expanded revenue streams. This could be anything, and it gives the units a lot of latitude to explore them. Number 3, expand professional markets. These are your non-traditional markets. Everyone seems to rely on convenient online access to programming, and of course, there are unique offerings that the university has that could possibly be spun off to innovative type of offerings to reach these respective markets. Number 4, roll out a robust, comprehensive capital campaign to support 3 major areas. 1, student success with regard to scholarships and other funding. Secondly, capital and maintenance projects. And thirdly, strategic growth initiatives. Number 5, pursue balanced cost containment And finally, optimize net cash position of units. So, members of the board, this concludes the presentation. This is the first time that we, and I thank you very much to the ad hoc committee of the board, that we are being made even more accountable. This is the first time that we pay attention even closer to the metrics and pay attention to monitoring strategies and their respective outcomes. We've already developed a dashboard that will be monitored by the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, in which you will have access to. We've already agreed that at every board committee, there will be an update of these respective strategic pillars that are relevant, and certainly the progress along the way. So thank you very much for your support. And thank you to all who have contributed to what we have here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited. I know how difficult it is to take a very complex organization and to streamline it and make it understandable in less than 4 pages, really, right? And this has been a lot of work, President Enriquez, on your part and the committee's part. And I'm very excited because these are very clear objectives, and it's very laser focused. And so I'm excited for the university and the leadership, and we're going to continue to strive to make a better university and to make a better community. Thank you so much. All right, so we are going to go to our next agenda item, 5.0, which is reports from the standing committees. And we're going to start with 5.1, the Student Affairs, Scholarships, Alumni Relations, and Honorary Degree Committee. And I'd like to call on Regent Malilai to report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The regular meeting of the Student Affairs, Scholarship, Alumni Relations, and Honorary Degree Committee met on September 18, 2024 at 1:02 p.m. in the President's Conference Room at the University of Guam. A quorum was present. Just a very quick FYI, the accreditations team's first recommendation was to update the student handbook, which President Enriquez mentioned, and this handbook is now available online. It was a collaborative effort with input from the SGA, the Administrative Council, the Faculty Union, and the Senate. The committee also reviewed 2 resolutions. The first was Resolution 24-24 that is listed in the agenda under the BFA committee. The second resolution is Resolution number 24-18 relative to approving the career priority listing or list for academic year 2024 to 2025 and subsequent years. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, so I'd like to open for discussion.
The Office of Financial Aid sent a survey to various organizations like the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the Guam Federation of Teachers, Guam Bar Association, Guam Medical Association for their feedback. And the survey was conducted from April 12 to September 8. The results were 423 people viewed the site, 57 completed the survey. The top 5 professions are law at 34%, medical field at 27%, engineering 13%, computer science, which includes AI and data science, at 10%, and social work at 9%. Let's see, the public hearing was held on September 17 with 1 speaker presenting, Dr. Roki again, I believe. And copies of this priority listing was sent to all the regions prior to this meeting, and it should be included in our packet. Let's see, that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions? Or any other concerns? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none, so motion carries. Thank you. All right, so if we can continue to item 5.2, the Academic Personnel and Tenure Committee, I'd like to call on Regent Malilai.
Thank you. The regular meeting of the AP&T Committee met on September 18, 2024 at 2:42 p.m. in the President's Conference Room at the University of Guam. A quorum was present. 4 resolutions were presented and reviewed. The first resolution is Resolution 24-19, relative to approving the Sixth Amendment of Contract Agreement between the Board of Regents of the University of Guam and the EOG Faculty Union, American Federation of Teachers, Local 6282, December 1, 2018 to May 1st, 2027. Regent Muliai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, so I'm going to open up for discussion.
Okay, the changes in the Sixth Amendment of the Contract Agreement have been sent to you prior to this meeting, to all the regents. It has been reviewed and approved by the Administrative Council and Deans, including the Faculty Union. Changes are the completed applications must be submitted on the last day of the Tenala session and for Noctis session. The letters of recommendations must be signed within 20 days, and there may be a variation in the teaching the number of credit hours per semester, depending on the program needs. And about 3 days of personal leave expires at the start of the academic year. Those are mainly the changes in this amendment.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Comments? Clarifications? Okay, I hear none. So I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
the second resolution is resolution number 24-20, relative to approving the Seventh Amendment of Contract Agreement between the Board of Regents of the University of Guam and the EOG Faculty Union, American Federation of Teachers, Local 6282, December 1st, 2018 to May 1st, 2027. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, I will open up for discussion.
Okay, this amendment mainly deals with a grievance procedure and the faculty union contract. The number of days to submit grievance extends from 5 days to 20 days in order to establish parity between the administrators and the faculty. Non-classified, non-faculty administrators have 20 days to submit their grievance. Also, the CFES timeline and the term acting administrator were defined. The faculty members were to receive all copies of evaluations at all levels of review. Those were the changes, and that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Okay, so any other discussion? Questions?
Yes, hi. Afade?
Yeah. That's
Uh,
Dr. Swami was going to tell you.
Oh,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for recognizing me. I just wanted to, because I've even gotten some confusion and questions from faculty. I just wanted to clarify some things for the record on this. With regard to the business definition of business days in the first 2 items, it should be noted that 9-month faculty have a different definition of business days than all other employees, including 12-month faculty, because 9-month faculty, summers and other semester breaks don't count as business days for them. So as the general counsel and I discussed it, the way we'll do it is when a 9-month faculty member files a grievance or needs to file a grievance or an appeal, it'll be based on their business day definition. But when the administrator is responding, they can use their business day definition. In other words, they could respond over the summer if they got a grievance before the summer began. And then if there was a need for an appeal, the faculty member could appeal. Their timeline would start when they came back in the semester. And so this is just something that the general counsel and I discussed as a way of clarifying anything any confusion that arises from the two different definitions of business days. So I've been stating that for the record at every stage, and I would like to state that for the record here. The other thing I wanted to clarify is having to do with the CFES timeline. What that basically does is right now, the CFES timeline, the timeline for calling for CFES is tied to the anniversary date of each faculty member, which puts deans in the position of having to keep track of when every faculty member joined. So now they can send out calls in either the fall, end of the founded Sana or the end of the founded Nakan semester for all faculty, depending on which time of the year they were hired, simplifying matters for deans. So those were two things I wanted to explain because I got questions about it, and I thought there might be questions down the line as well. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank President Enriquez and Attorney Camacho for the hard work that they put in to helping me put these through. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swamy. General Counsel, do you have any remarks?
No, but Dr. Swamy is correct in that business days, we don't have the entire faculty union agreement with us, but business days are defined differently for the 9-month faculty, and that is what we have to follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that clarification and those details. Do we have any other questions or discussions on this matter? Okay, I hear none, so I would like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none, so motion carries. Thank you. All right, so we are in the next action item.
The third resolution is resolution number 24-21, relative to awarding Emeritus Director of Water Environmental Research Institute of the Western Pacific status to Dr. Stephen J. Winter. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Regent Naholoa seconds.
All right, any discussion?
Well, you have a copy of his application packet. Dr. Winter was at Rary during its formative years. He was the second director of Dr. Marsh, who served 1 year. He was at UOG. He served at UOG for 13 years. And during that time, he developed and expanded this program, and the committee wholeheartedly approved this application.
Okay, great. Thank you. So do we have any other discussion or questions on this? Okay, if there is none, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none, so motion carries. Thank you. All right, so the next motion?
The next resolution is resolution number 24-22, relative to approving the above step recruitment of the Chemist 2 position for Rary. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, do I have a second?
Regent Diaz, second.
Okay, so now if we can open for a discussion.
Weary and HR are requesting the above step recruitment of Chemist 2 position because of the difficulty in hiring a Chemist 2 and the qualifications that you can see of Mr. Conception in the resolution are exceptional. In fact, in his interview, his weakness in his evaluation, his weakness is overqualification as a Chemist 2. And that is the end of my report.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Any other discussion? Okay. I think we all know in this room that qualified people are very hard to find nowadays. So I'm glad we have found one. So if I hear no other discussions or questions, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. The motion carries. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Regent Malibay. So we are going to the next item. We have the Physical Facilities Committee, chaired by Regent Pete Diaz. I'd like to give the floor to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The regular meeting for the Physical Facilities Committee met on September 18, 2024 at 4 p.m. in the President's Conference Room with quorum present. The committee had no resolutions, so we'll just provide a update. For our capital improvement projects, we have obviously the USDA funded projects, the School of Engineering and Student Services Center. Some of the updates here is that with the USDA funding, obviously there was a requirement that all matching funds be paid out prior to using loan funds. And so that has, and the Endowment Foundation had helped us with providing bridge financing for that. We've now met that cap, and so we are now using some of the loan proceeds. So we are making lots of good progress with our buildings. So for the Student Services Center, the construction is about 40% complete. The contractor is currently installing the second floor level. They're anticipating to top off that building in January of 2025. Expected completion is tracking for June 2025. UOG is right now working to procure vendors to get an understanding of the operating specs. So that's very good. They're trying to figure out in advance what are the requirements. And so that makes it a lot easier for retrofitting after. So furniture, fixtures, and equipment is something that's currently not funded. So UOG is looking to procure that versus doing a change order. It was reported that the governor recently provided a grant of 0.9 million for that. Stakeholder input is being sought as well. And so, you know, one of the suggestions during the committee meeting was that they maximize the flexibility of the space so that, you know, with the use of like movable panels so they can maximize the use. School of Engineering, construction is at 49%. They anticipate topping off that building in October of this year. Expected completion is April of 2025. This building is also seeking funding for fixtures, furniture, and equipment. The estimate is at 1.2 million. For our US EDA projects, we have two buildings, the Wary Building and the School of Health Annex. The Wary Building construction is at 13%. Right now, the contractor is coordinating utility relocation. There was a change order that was required for that, but we're looking at installing underground electrical for the Wary and the School of Engineering buildings. That building is expected to top off, expected in end of this year in December, and construction target completion is November of 2025. Again, with all the other buildings, they're looking at for funding for fixtures, furniture, and equipment. The estimate's a little bit higher at 2.4 million for this building. School of Health Annex, construction is at 7%. Right now, they are looking at relocating power. Right now, there's a power pole that's right in the middle of the foundation. And so we had a special meeting to coordinate the relocation of power to a new easement. But the contractor is making progress. They are constructing where they have available space. And so that building is expected to be topped off in January of 2025. Construction is also anticipated to be completed in November of 2025. Also, funding is being sought for fixtures, furniture, and equipment for that building as well. It was also discussed at the committee meeting that obviously with all these new buildings coming online, that there'd be a need for obviously servicing the debt, but also operations and maintenance. And so, you know, the finance team is looking at a strategy to when these buildings do come online, that the additional future expenses, coming up with a strategy for that. Life cycle, air conditioners. Right now, all the air conditioners are on preventive maintenance and none are deferred. So that's a lot of good progress from our FMS teams. We are looking at procurement for additional ACs for several of our buildings. And we're looking at doing some assessments for some buildings to kind of better optimize AC. For some of our generators, we do have a contractor that's going to install a 600 kilowatt generator. that is set to begin. There was some additional upfront work with automatic transfer switches, but that project is moving forward. Campus lighting, obviously, with all the construction, we have overflow parking that's required. The university did install 20 solar lights to kind of support those areas. Hawaiian Rock Products is also looking at donating about $250,000 worth of asphalt. And so they're looking at potentially using that for those overflow parking areas. The committee did advise the FMS team to make sure to also look at the impacts of stormwater runoff, because the more impervious areas you put down, the increase in flows, and we've kind of seen that with a lot of the rains lately. Campus water system has been making a lot of improvements as well. We have a water pump that's arrived. One of the requirements that we've had is to make sure that we have firefighting capability on campus. And so we're not relying on GWA for that, so we're installing pumps. And so if there's a fire on campus, those pumps will kick on, provide more flow to be able to address those needs. There's also a water reservoir maintenance and upgrade that's being designed by our designer that's on our IDIQ contract. For FMS personnel, we have 3 of our maintenance staff that have recently completed their HVAC journeyman certification, which is a significant milestone for the university because we are investing in our people and making sure that they get this certification. And we're also looking at additional maintenance staff to become journeyman for like electricians and other similar trades. We did talk about sustainability. So our cost reduction projects for the Siemens group here, they have completed their projects. And so as part of that contract, they had guaranteed at least $180,500 worth of, within the construction period, of cost savings. And so to date, the estimated cost savings for all those projects is currently tracking at $210,000. Some of those completed projects were LED lighting conversions, installing solar PV panels, adding coating to our AC equipment to increase the longevity, improving building envelope seals, just putting in a lot more efficient plumbing, and installing some building automation systems. Safety and security updates, cameras are installed throughout the campus. The project that they put forth is 99% complete. There was one incident that was resolved because of the camera footage. Another highlight was the student security program. So you can see some of the students out here. A highlight for the committee was that they are also receiving training that would help them obtain careers in law enforcement. So some of the working with partners for that. And I think there's potential of getting them to also be part of the federal work study program. It was also reported that obviously with GDOE and the troubles they've had with school openings, that some of our staff helped assist George Washington High School get into compliance prior to their inspection. So we want to thank our team members for supporting our schools, especially here in the village. IT infrastructure, CIO Vince Dela Cruz briefed the committee. Some of the improvements that they're looking for is voice over IP. So that's using telephones over the internet. Right now, the university currently spends $600,000 for phones throughout the campus. And so depending on where the bids come in, we could generate possibly $250,000 in savings by changing over to a different system. They're looking at modernizing the campus applications. So applications for finance, HR, procurement, looking to improve the website, and also looking to improve the travel and expense management for the university. I think that's all the major highlights, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Regent Diaz. President
Yes,
Enriquez?
Madam Chair, thank you very much. I just want to add through the creative collaboration between the Residence Halls Director, Martin Mignola, and the GLE Director, Mr. Carlos Taitino, that they've been able to generate additional funds to finally procure typhoon shutters for dorm number 3, with shutters for part of dorm 2 forthcoming. So that's kudos to the group for their efforts. Thank you.
We're going to be ready for the next typhoon, guys. We don't want one though. Well, thank you so much. That was very exciting to see all the improvements, new buildings coming up. You know, when I hear about the expansion, I just hear the future leaders staying here right on this island. No brain drain because we have a very quality university for the whole region. And so I'm super excited about that. And we need to keep, and I hope the whole community of Guam, the legislature, the governor, just get behind this university because we're doing exciting things here and we're filling the need of the community. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to go to the next item, the investment committee. And I would like to call on Regent Duenas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The University of Guam Investment Committee meeting, the Investment Committee had a meeting on September 19th at 1:30 p.m. at the President's Conference Room. A quorum was present. At that meeting, the following things were discussed. The endowment portfolio, as of September 17th, the ending market value for the portfolio was about 28.9 million. It had a quarter-to-date return of about 5.79% versus the benchmark of 5.84. It had a fiscal year-to-date return of 22.2%, slightly above benchmark of 20.3%. The total portfolio comprises 33% U.S. equities, 19% non-equities, 27% fixed income, and 21% alternatives. The portfolio remains in line with investment policy statements. During the quarter, KKR issued a capital call, and it was funded by funds from Winslow Capital Management Investment. There is going to be a working session for the investment committee next month. And at that working session, we will review asset classes and some of the spending policy reviews. Onto the Freedom Conservative Fund, the portfolio's ending market value was about 4.9 million as of September 17th. The balanced portfolio is about 29% equities, 65% fixed income, and about 5.2% cash. The balanced portfolio return was about 5.7% versus benchmark of about 5.4 for the quarter and 16.6% versus benchmark of 16.9 for the fiscal year to date. The market outlook as presented by our investment advisors, Raymond James, the US GDP is expected to be at about 2.4% growth by the end of the year. They're talking about the economy hitting a soft patch in the coming quarters. A recession is not expected with federal funds cutting rates and to help facilitate a so-called soft landing. The forecast for the 10-year Treasury note is at 4%. As mentioned, there was a 50 basis point rate cut on September 18th by the Fed. These rate cuts will likely result in a steeper yield curve. They also forecast that the S&P 500 will hit 5,400 by the end of the year. The Euro USD exchange rate would hit 1.1. The forecast for oil is $85 a barrel. In 2024, they expect the volatility to increase with the presidential election around the corner. And there's also fixed income has also increased in volatility with the Fed expectations. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Regent Duenas, and thank you so much for taking chair of this investment committee. As we all know, we have to grow this money for the university because there's a lot of things that we're doing. And so the investment committee is very diligent in making sure that we are growing this money, and market's doing very well right now. So we're happy. Thank you. Now, don't get tired yet because we have more numbers. So I'm going to call on Treasurer Regent Mike Nahalawa to take us through the financial health of our university. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Number one, I'm not going to bore everybody with numbers. Right now, the bottom line is real simple. We are trying to get our funding from the legislature, but that's another item entirely. But what I will say is this: A meeting of the Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee was held on September 19 at 3 p.m. A quorum was present. Acting Vice President Rachel Field, Controller Martin, and Associate Controller Flores provided the following financial updates. The university continues to receive timely allotments from the Department of Administration, and that cash continues to be monitored daily to ensure obligations are being met. Number two, the financial projections for the year-end fiscal year 2024 are expected to show that revenues and expenditures will break even. With adjustments that may decrease the net position. Number three, current tracking of budget to actual expenditures are also projected to be close to break even. Number four, collections of the past due payments have exceeded its target of 200,000. We collected $232,446. These are the funding that a lot of the students took, and you know, if you do not complete the degree requirements, then we have to collect it back. So we're being aggressive in this modem. Since our last regular board direct meeting in April, 2 outgoing contracts were reported on and were related to workstations and Microsoft license and purchases. We're constantly trying to improve the financial situation and the follow-up of the university. And like I said, we're trying to keep on top of all this, the projects and the money that we have to collect and also to report. Number two, the savings project is now complete with changing our light systems, bringing back 2 solar roof systems back into service, changing our certain plumbing equipment, and upgrading the AC systems. It is expected to be the university to realize at least 500,000 in utility savings a year. Okay, that's an effort on our part to make it more easier to not only operate, but also to make sure that we do have the funding to meet these required costs. Okay, this will conclude my report. I have figures and everything, and you can see me after the meeting if you want to know more detail. What I do want to talk about now is that I have 2 resolutions. Resolution number 24-23, relative to approving the continuation of the fiscal year 2024 general operations special appropriations, non-appropriated, and auxiliary fund budgets into fiscal year 2025.
Okay, thank you. So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I'd like to open for discussion.
Thank you. Okay, the request was submitted by the acting VP and endorsed by the Senior Vice President and the President and the BFA Committee for approval. This is the continuation of general operations, special appropriations, non-appropriated, and auxiliary fund budgets. This is a carry-on from the last fiscal year. Right now, we're on top of all the documents and information, and I really believe that the continuation of the University of Guam is tantamount in importance, and it will be done. This is my motion to approve.
Okay. Any other discussions, questions, comments? Okay, I hear none. I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. Motion carries. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, the next action is 5.5.5, Resolution 24-24, relative to approving the proposed fiscal year 2025 fiscal student financial assistance program on the budget. This request is not only from the BFA committee, but also from the SISARD committee.
Okay, I have a motion.
Oh,
May-
can I just say something,
Yes,
please?
yes.
Because several comments were made in our committee, and a budget is reapportioned whenever there are changes, and there were 2 significant changes that were that happened. The bad news was our request for 4.5 million was denied, and so we received the same amount as the last fiscal year, which was 3.5 million, as you can see in the information that they gave us under the Student Financial Assistance Program's budget. The good news is through the lobbying of President Enriquez and her staff, the university was given the authority to move monies between the scholarships. So if you've noticed, the ROTC program was funded, the Regents Scholar Program was funded, and the Marine Lab Scholarship was funded. This was through the lobbying efforts. So I just want to say kudos to the President Enriquez, Dr. Bomba, Randy Mark Duarte, and their staff for this accomplishment. And thank you for the senators for your support. And this board looks forward to working with the governor, legislature, Dr. Enriquez, and her administration and staff, the betterment of the university. Thank you.
Amen. Okay, awesome. All right, so, okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Regent Diaz, second.
Okay, any more discussion?
Yes, this request was submitted by the Dean of EMSS and reviewed and endorsed by the Senior Vice President, the President, as the Cesar mentioned, and the BFA Committee for approval.
Okay, great, thank you. So, and if there are no more discussions, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstention, say nay. I'm sorry, any opposed, say nay. It's getting late. Okay, any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you so much. I'd like to also add that before we get to our next agenda item, I think the university is really showing the stakeholders that we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're putting money for saving costs for our utilities, doing the Siemens project, and we're seeing results, 500,000 in savings because we invested in this project. This is things that we are doing to show our stakeholders we're responsible with our finances. And we're also showing that we are making this island better in regards to putting the programs out there that is needed for our community, engineering, nursing, teachers, you name it. So we're going to continue to do this, and we are going to try to garner as many support from the governor, the legislature, and the community. And so great job, President Enriquez and the rest of the university community. Keep up the good work. All right, so we're going to go now to the ad hoc committee report from the Endowment Foundation. And we have Kat Harris. Thank you, Pat. Kat.
Today, Madam Chair McKeever and members of the Board of Regents, thank you for giving me the opportunity to report. The EOG Endowment Foundation is very honored to be conduits for philanthropy from its donors, and we are very grateful for the valuable partnership with EOG personnel in reaching out to these donors. It is their passion for their programs that help to draw in further interest from the community. Notable donations and/or other payments received in the past few months include collectively $292,000 received in sponsorship for the Micronesian Island Forum and the Center for Island Sustainability, thanks to Dr. Austin Shelton. Noted sponsors are EPSCOR, the Sasakawa Peace Foundation, Guam Southern Soil and Water Conservation, Bank of Guam, Government of Guam, Taipei Economic Cultural Office in Guam, Port Authority of Guam, Guam Energy Office, and the Micronesian Conservation Trust. Next, there's $125,000 that was collectively received in cash and in-kind sponsorships in support of the Endowment Foundation / GVB Tenille concerts. Special thanks to the EOG Endowment Foundation Board of Directors and valued partners. Amongst these, Guam Visitors Bureau, Choice Broadcasting, Jones and Guerrero Company, United Airlines, KUAM, Trivision, Alter Ego, ASC Trust, GTA, Matson, Heineken, Docomo Pacific, Pacific Medical Group, Raymond James Incorporated, The Dugout, Today's Realty, and Bank of Hawaii. Next, $110,000 collectively received in sponsorship and support for the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Special thanks to Dr. James G. We have Bank of Guam and the Guam Visitors Bureau. And we also received $100,000 from an anonymous donor in support of the Emeritus Scholarship. Special thanks go to Dr. Hiro Kurashina, the president of the Emeritus Society of Emeritus Professors and Retired Scholars. $25,000 was collectively received in sponsorship and support of the Asia Pacific Studies Center, thanks to Dr. Kwanju Chen and Dr. Liu, from the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation, Anna Carroll, and Hanhui Guam LLC. There's also $20,000 received in support of athletic scholarships, thanks to Mr. Doug Palmer, from World Theater Productions for the World Theater Productions Athletic Scholarships, and Terry Stotts for the Frank and Terry Stotts Scholarship. $15,000 was also received from an anonymous donor in support of the More Like Jimmy Scholarship, and $12,000 from the Judiciary of Guam in support of the Regional Center for Public Policy. As you interact with these UOG employees and members of these donating organizations, please take the opportunity to thank them for their continued partnership in supporting the University of Guam. And as a side note, I want to draw attention to a group of special folks who are quiet, loyal heroes among us. These are steadfast donors, some of whom have been giving since the 60th anniversary capital campaign. Over $13,000 has been collectively received between January and August this year via payroll deduction from UOG, the UOG Endowment Foundation, and GDOE employees. These 23 donors have been supporting the following with an average of $34 per pay period. Yes. And the contributions range anywhere from $5 up to $125 per pay period. These support the Capital Campaign Fund, the Tanum Bernard Watson Scholarship, Lauren McCluskey Scholarship, the Last Mile Scholarship, Priscilla Perez Scholarship, Isla Arts Center, Ceramics Fund, School of Education, College of Natural and Applied Sciences Fund, and the General Endowment. I could read these names. You know what? I don't believe there's any indicators that these folks wanted to remain anonymous, but I think it's important that we see the example that they set. Some of these are among you here today. Bob Barber, Gina Marie Call, Melissa Camacho, Kwanju Chen, Elizabeth Cruz, Gil Cruz, Carmen Gallman, Therese Iglesias, Anderson Joseph, Rachel Leon Guerrero, Jamari Meeks, Gus Meno, Kathleen Moots, Dean Ola, Gregory Perez, Mylene Ramos, Louis Rifkowitz, Zoltan Zakeli, Glenn Takai, Francis Villaverde, Ancito Walter, and Randy Wiegand, and myself. So I'd like to say I am so very appreciative of their continued generosity. They are well aware of the importance that the University of Guam holds in helping to shape our island communities, and they continue to set the example in showing that all types of giving, big and small, can be impactful. In this group, I don't have the list of those who also provide payments via credit card. But I did want to point out that the president is one of those. And I think it's very important with so many of the administrators who are included in this group. It's good to have these leadership examples. If you're not a member of the university's payroll, and for example, if anybody else here is interested in making a repetitive or recurrent donation, I'd be happy to speak to you after this. This concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kat. And I love the fact that you always have an appeal at the end. Good job. That's the kind of, person that we need in that position. And thank you. And, this goes to show that the people actually working here really believe in this institution, that they do this. So thank you for just kind of reminding us of the reoccurring kind of contribution. It builds up. We'd like to make that 10 times more, and like every dollar counts. And so I encourage you, yes, everyone to do that. Yeah, I will see you later too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. All right, so I'd like to open for open presentation. Please remember, there is a 3-minute limit per person. So at this time, if there is anyone. Okay. All right. So I don't think anyone is presenting. So we will move on to election of officers. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for the board officer positions of chairperson, vice chairperson, and treasurer. And the new term will begin on November 1st, 2024. So I'd like to open for nomination for chairperson.
Yes, I'd like to make a nomination. I'd like to nominate for the position of chairperson. I'd like to nominate Leslie Leon Guerrero.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I like to ask if there's any further nominations for chairperson. If not, can I make a motion to close the nominations?
So
Oh,
moved.
Sorry.
Okay.
General counsel,
Point of
sorry.
order, yeah.
Yes, I think I messed up.
No,
Okay.
you just need to ask the nominee if she accepts the
Okay.
nomination before closing. Thank
Oh.
you.
Do I have to ask her? I really want her to, I don't want her to have a choice. Okay, Regent, Leon Guerrero, would you like to accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Okay, thank you. So, at this time, I like to ask for a motion to close nomination.
So moved.
Wait, I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
No, that's, you could do it for each one, or
Okay.
you could just wait till you get to the very
Very
end.
end?
And then ask
Okay.
to close all nominations
Okay,
and go from
thank
there.
you.
Thank you.
I will do that. So I like to open the floor for a nomination for vice chairman.
Regent Leon Guerrero nominates Regent Pete Diaz for vice chairperson.
Okay. Okay, second? Sorry. No.
Just ask him if he accepts the
Okay.
nomination.
Ask you guys, I just want you to take it. So, okay, Regent Diaz, do you accept the nomination?
I accept the, Regent Diaz, I accept the nomination.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now I'd like to open the floor for nomination for treasurer.
I, Regent Diaz, nominate Regent Nahalawa to continue serving as treasurer.
Okay, Regent Nahalawa, would you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'd like to ask for a motion to close nominations.
So
Regent-
moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, great. Any discussion? Okay, I hear none, so I would like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. Motion carries. Congratulations, everyone.
That was, that was to close the nomination.
Oh.
The actual election is the next one. Sorry. Point,
We don't do this often. So.
I know, it's point of order. Thank you.
Okay. So that was to close nomination, and now we are going to vote for
To approve the slate of
the
nominations.
slate of nominees. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in any discussions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, I hear none. Motion carries. Now you can applaud. All right, great. All right, so now we like to go into executive session. So I like to call for a motion.
Regent Malilai moves to exit open session and move to executive session.
Okay, any second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries.